Are you in a relationship because you feel like you have to be the one who takes away the loneliness from your partner, who gives them the love that they never had, who needs to right the wrongs of their past, or you need to right the wrongs of your past through them? Do you choose partners who tend to be lacking in something in their life? They had a hard background. Do you choose partners who tend to be troubled in some way? They're a victim or they're a loser of something or someone. You feel extra compassion, extra attraction towards those who are broken or who have a lot of trauma. Maybe you've been in a relationship for many years, and after healing to dissolve some of your people-pleasing and over-giving tendencies, you realize, whoa, I'm not sure if I'm compatible with this person. These are all signs that you might have the Saviour Complex, which I also call the hero, chaser, fixer, or healer complex. I would define the Saviour Complex as you mistake love for trying to change the life of or a person in some way. Rather than actually being in love with the person in front of you, you're in love with the idea of giving them something that you think they lack, or changing them into a state where you believe they would be happier, which is catastrophic for your mental health and the relationship, because you're in love with an image of what you think they should be rather than the reality of what they are. And they will feel this internal non-acceptance that you actually carry, and it'll deepen whatever wounds they may actually have. For women, this tends to show up as they're either the people pleaser or empath, very soft, very understanding, sweet, loving woman who tends to gravitate to the broken man who may not have his finances in order, or he might be emotionally unavailable, quite aggressive, has a history of being a player, and you want to be the one to make him choose you. You want to be the one to teach him to open his heart and become emotionally available, to soothe that anger, to open him up to the sweetness of emotional connection. Some women who have become very career-oriented, hyper-independent, masculinized, meaning they support themselves and don't really need to lean on a man, they end up feeling like a mother towards men who haven't found their purpose and strength and masculinity in life. The self-sufficiency of this kind of woman attracts the dependency of this kind of man who wants to lean on her, which ends up exhausting her. What happens on the surface is that these women will be attracted to what's familiar to them, and then they'll start to realize, oh, I'm actually attracted to people who remind me of my father or mother, or they're the opposite of my father or mother, which means you're in reaction to your past, which means you're not present. You're not selecting from your heart, you're selecting from your trauma. And in saving these type of men from whatever pain or financial issues they're in, you're actually trying to save your own wounded inner child, the little girl who didn't get the emotional affection, the respect, the attention, the quality time, the message that, hey, you don't have to perform to feel loved. You can actually just relax and be worthy of love as you are now. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to exhaust yourself in giving. Then with men, one type of savior personality is the man who had a very critical, emotionally absent, overwhelmed mother who never gave him the affection, maybe no verbal affection, maybe no physical affection, maybe a lot of insults. And deep down, he's deprived of that motherly love. And so he finds women who are also quite aggressive, quite snappy, maybe fully narcissistic, women who even cheat on him. And he tolerates this disrespectful behavior because deep down, he wants to save her from the unloving energy that he senses she is drowning in, but in the process ends up recreating all the pain and disrespect and feeling not appreciated of his past. Then you've got the man who grew up with an overly strict and oppressive father, the traditional masculine father, and he had a very quiet, sweet, nurturing mother, but he never received any protection from his mother from the aggression of his father, so he actually carries a deep rage towards his own mother and women in general. And he never felt able to stand up for his mother when she was being either verbally abused or spoken to with disrespect, or even beaten by his father, which leaves a deep complex in him of feeling like a coward, guilty, shameful. So he's attracted to the sweet, quiet, submissive woman, but deep down is able to resent her when things don't go his way. And deep down in his psyche, he wants to reverse the damage that happened to his mother, but he doesn't know this. So he's stuck in a perpetual cycle of feeling like he's not enough for his woman. And when she expresses that she's not feeling his emotional availability, all the pain of his wounded mother from his past and his feeling of being a coward explode onto his woman. There can be many more roots of how a savior complex is created. It could be that your parents separated when you were a young age and you just felt so responsible for the pain, the arguments, the anger you saw between your parents, and you vowed to be the one who ensures this never happens in people's lives. Pretty much all healers, coaches, therapists, spiritual teachers like myself have been through this journey and are still on this journey. Regardless of the roots of your savior complex, essentially it means this: you have a superiority complex around your perceived ability to change the world, make people's lives better, heal them, save women or men from the unloving ways of their past, right the wrongs of your past or theirs. And quite honestly, it's a terrible way to live because it's fueled by suffering. Now, I don't want you to experience guilt when you hear this. There's no shame in it. To be honest, the whole of humanity is born through trauma and journeys of brutality, so we're all in this together. But if this video resonates with you and you know that you're driven by guilt, then this is your sign to become more conscious and awaken to a way of life where you're driven by more peace, more acceptance, and not fueled by the past. Personally, I've been through hell in my romantic relationships because I couldn't help but select women who in some way reminded me of my fragmented, broken, painful past, reminded me of my mother, who I always perceived as a victim in an unhappy marriage, where I would be the hero who gets to save her from that unhappiness. So having a hero or savior complex is essentially selfish. It's about you trying to redeem yourself from your past, and you're actually using another human being to achieve that objective. A savior or a hero or a healer or fixer is essentially a victim wearing a red cape, where they have deluded themselves into believing that they're going to be the one to save the day, to save the world, to save the people. But really, they're trying to save themselves from their own unhealed past pain, which leads to an incomplete sense of self, a nagging feeling that something needs to change in humanity, something needs to change in the world. People need to be saved from the love they didn't get. Now, there's a difference between that wounded energy and actually bringing love to someone's life consciously, actually trying to uplift humanity in a conscious way that is genuinely for their well-being and not for you to feel validated, for you to right the wrongs of your past, not for you to fill a void of incompleteness. If you're coming from a more healed, conscious energy where you're like, I'm actually complete, you'll know, because you're not hung up on the outcome. You no longer need a person to change. You no longer need the results in your healing business or in whatever you're doing. It might be healthcare, you might be a lawyer, you might be an admin. You won't be so desperate for results because you're not trying to attain something to fill something in here that feels lack. What are the solutions? How do we shift from making up for your past through other people to becoming more sincere, more loving? Simple. Heal the emotional wounds of your past, which you're trying to compensate for by creating the identity of hero, savior, fixer, or healer. Then there's a whole new realm of lightness that comes into your energy, and I mean beautiful, incredible lightness, where you can feel the beauty of this life every day, and you can sense the inherent perfection of this earth and the cosmos. Because yes, in our human world, bad things happen. I'm not saying it's all flowers and rainbows. Things happen. We have genocides, we have corrupted politicians, we have people in pain that went through horrific traumas and so on. But there is a deeper creative intelligence behind this entire universe. And when you can trust and hold to that, you realize, regardless of whose life I improve or not, when our time on this earth is done, it's over. And the universe doesn't care, even if the whole earth is gone. Nothing really changes in the infinite galaxies out there. So there's a sense of playfulness that comes to you and your life and your relationships, because none of us are getting out of here alive. So we might as well enjoy our time while we're here and not see ourselves as this grandiose hero that will save our partner or the world from the wrongs of humanity. I want you to ask yourself, on a stress scale from 0 to 10, 10 being extreme stress, anger, overthinking, guilt, obsessions with your partner, obsessive thinking with your relationship, and 0 being a place of self-centeredness, where you can sense that regardless of what does or doesn't happen, you're okay, where you can sense that you are made from love. You can generate a sense of love, bliss, peace in your own body and share that with your partner. That's a 0. Where are you on average? And please be honest with yourself, in your relationship or out of one. One of my goals in all the coaching that I do with countless people from around the world is to give them tools to sit in that space of anywhere between 0 to 3. When your body is not in survival mode, that's when you can really trust your intuitive voice. It's where your energy actually nourishes people and embraces them for the human being that they are right now. It's such a beautiful place to be. Exciting news, the Peace program has opened for registration and the fee is now lower than ever. It's starting in March 2025. Just visit my website, www.essen.co.uk, if you want to sign up and experience profound healing and a breathtaking bliss and inner peace that lives inside of all of us, to bring more authenticity, trust, connection and enjoyment, not only into your relationships, but the rest of your life. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with someone who you think would benefit, and subscribe to the channel so the channel can grow and the word can reach more people. Thank you, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.